So for this exercise on fraction word problems number 2, we're going to give a little bit more complex word problems. So in this case, it'll be fractions, but it will also include mixed numbers. And it's going to be adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. So while fraction word problems were with like denominators, this exercise is going to be fractions and mixed numbers with unlike denominators. So the first thing we'll do is we'll add the whole number to this because our answers will be shown in a mixed number form. So again, as in before, I'm not going to show you how to do the hints because you can go back to the adding and subtracting mixed numbers and adding and subtracting fractions to see the actual hints that you would want to display here. But I would just give you a bunch of different types of problems to jog your mind, and then you let your creative juices go and come up with as many different, classes of problems as you can. And as always with word problems, the more variety is the key. If you have one type of problem and you just keep giving different numbers, people start to recognize the problem and they're not actually thinking about the sentence. So ideally you have, 5, 10 different types of sentences that a person has to decipher, and each one's slightly different, so that there's a little bit of thinking going on here. So here's a few possible questions you can get. So one problem could be Shantanu walked 3/4 of a mile on Wednesday and 5/6 of a mile on Thursday. How many total miles did Shantanu walk over the 2 days? So that could be one problem. Maybe make it a little different. There we go. We could say something like Sal rode his bike 2 1/4 miles from his house to work, and then 1 5/8 miles to lunch. How many miles did Sal ride in total? And actually, this is one of the exercises in the developmental math, or one of the problems in the developmental math playlist called adding mixed numbers word problem. So you can get the hints from there. Another possible problem could be something like this. You could have a problem like this, which is if Shantanu is 34.5 years old and Omar is 16 1/4 years old. I'm not sure these are the right ages. Actually, I'm pretty close to that. What is the difference in their age? Write the answer as a simplified mixed number. And this is actually also one of the problems in the developmental math playlist called subtracting mixed numbers word problem. There we go. We could have something like Marsha planted a plant that grew 1.5 inches in the first year and 2 3/4 inches in the second year. How many inches did it grow over the 2 years? And you can do various, permutations of this. You could have how much people walked, how far they rode their bike, how far they drove their car, how much something grew. I mean, just come up with as many possible permutations as you can. But the net is you're going to have two numbers, sometimes just regular fractions. Sometimes they are mixed numbers that you're either adding or subtracting.